I gotta take off at 9 o'clock to grab my daughter from work. Um,
Okay. We are live. Want to welcome everyone to. Ooh, let me start this video. There we
there
go.
you are, handsome
Want
as
you.
ever.
What'd you say?
I said, there you are, handsome as ever.
Thank you. I want to welcome everybody to Poetic Recovery this Friday night. We will be celebrating Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day out there to all you mothers, especially those who are there or in it through thick and thin, from zero to the last day on earth. We're gonna get started. I love this part when I do the weather, or when I attempt to do the weather. I love this part. So as you guys know, if you at where I'm at, it was 41 degrees today, rain showers this evening with overcast skies overnight. Low 41 degrees Fahrenheit, winds east northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, chance rain 60%, humidity 70%, UV index 0 to 10, moon rise 4:09 a.m., moon set 3:58 p.m. Tomorrow, I know you guys are wondering, like, well, what's happening tomorrow? Overcast high around 60 degrees Fahrenheit, winds light and variable. And that's during the day, 60 degrees, 24% chance of rain, northeast, 6 miles per hour wind. Humidity 46%, rays 3 to 10, sunrise 5:37 a.m., sunset 5:57 p.m. Saturday night, 40 degrees, 20% chance of rain. West northwest 5 miles per hour. Evening clouds will give way to clearing, low near 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds light and variable. Humidity 75%. UV index 0 to 10. Moonrise 4:31 a.m. Moon set 4:59 p.m. Warning, crescent. Sunday's gonna be 66 degrees. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. 7% chance of rain. West northwest 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies in the morning. Will give way to cloudy skies during the afternoon. High 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds west northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. At night, 46 degrees, 74% chance of rain. South 8 miles per hour winds. Rain showers in the evening will evolve into a more steady rain overnight. Low 46 degrees Fahrenheit winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 70% rainfall around a half an inch. Humidity 75 degrees. UV index 0 of 10. Moonrise 4:52 a.m. Moon set 6 p.m. Warning, crescent. Well, there you go for the weather. I hope you all enjoy yourselves. Make sure you have that umbrella. And brothers, carry one just in case your mom forgets. So when it starts raining, you can open it up and be like, Happy Mother's Day. Let's get it started. I love that smile you got, Terry. It's a beautiful smile. Mr. Becker's with us. How you doing?
Thank you.
You're welcome. How you doing tonight, John? Can you hear us?
He was on.
Okay.
Oh, he came back in again.
Okay.
All right.
So John, oh yeah, the first one said that you was having issues with your CPU. That's all good. Um, so tonight we're celebrating Mother's Day. So it's laid back though. It's laid back. But 8:30 p.m. we got Sherry Honkler. She's gonna be coming in. Um, she's going to be speaking on motherhood activism and
Mhm.
things like that. She's with
Yep.
Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, um,
Yes.
and um, as well as Poor People's Army.
Go there. Lay down. Lay down, okay?
Let me do this because I like to. I want to make sure I get a picture up there. There we go. There you go. There she is with the bullhorn right there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Go
and
lay down.
I thought it was fitting
Go lay down.
that we got her up there. You see how diverse that protest is?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, Poor People's Army, is their mission is to unite people, right? Because poverty is one thing that impacts us all, right? Um,
Just this one.
at the end of the day, we all have more in common than we realize once we start, once we get past the socially engineered madness that keeps us divided. When we start sharing our stories, we start finding that we have more in common. And so, Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign and Poor People's Army sought out to unite poor people. When you unite the people that are exploited the most, right? Then the rich people lose their power, right? And so, big ups to Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign. Big ups to the Poor People's Army. So, Terry, how long you been a mom?
Since I was 25 years old. So
Uh,
let's see, my brain, it's like nightfall right now and my brain isn't quite working. So
it's funny because I thought you was evading telling exactly how old you were.
no, I can't calculate as readily as I want to.
I,
It's that age factor, you know what I'm saying?
oh, the older I get, the slower my calculator slows down. The
Yeah.
the slower it
So
gets.
let's say for safety reasons, I became a mother 30 years ago. I'll be 55 this year.
I was just gonna say that 55.
Yeah.
Word. All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, we're just gonna wait, see if a couple more people come on. I know a couple of people are coming. Um, and one of the things I want us to do is we can all tell stories about person we call mom, good
Ooh,
or indifferent.
wow.
You know, but some of us don't have mothers, and there's mother-like figures that are in our lives, right?
Hmm.
Like I felt bad that I had to call my godmom today and tell her I couldn't do her lawn because my feet are hurting. And Sunday's Mother's Day, so I'm like, man, if it's sunny out on Mother's Day, I'm gonna just like, go over there when I can and just,
Yeah, you're gonna brave it. Yeah.
I'm gonna rough it, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hobbling behind that lawnmower. It,
But
it,
at least it'll be something to prop you up.
yeah, oh, I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
unless I lean forward too much, yeah,
Don't do
the
that.
lawnmower is going down. But when we look at it though, like in this country, like women have had a really hard time, a real hard time, especially black women. And sometimes I hate to say that, I'm like, yeah, but black men have it harder, and it's like, well, what is the point of actually comparing? Like, what does that do? But if we want to compare, when you look at, the issues that Black men and Black women have systematically, I will say though, and it's a good thing, more Black women are getting business loans these days, right? And I'm the type of dude, rather than be like, I can't believe she's getting more. Like, yo, I'm the type of dude to be like, yo, how may I help you? You know what I'm saying? Let me help build what you building, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that, because in me helping her build what she's building, I'm gonna build what I want to build anyway, and especially the sisters who are building what they want to build to help the community, when they get to where they
Go
want
lay down.
to be and during the process. So, um, and with all the issues that exist between the different ethnicities, women and stuff like that, I can appreciate when women with different of different ethnicities address the issues that exist and sit at the same table. Um, I read stories, man, back in the 50s and 60s where women were dying,
Go lay down.
where women were working so hard they were dying in the factories, and conditions like that brought about the 40-hour work week. So when people cry about the 40-hour work week and they're upset about the 40-hour work week, you can tell that they didn't do their research, nor did they care about the many women that died sitting at their sewing stations or so on and so forth because they were forced to work 100 hours and plus, and were not paid, what they should have been paid, you know. Today, mothers are facing really horrible issues with trafficking, sex trafficking, their daughters being, picked up off the street, in which, by the way, I want to say, I saw a video the other day where a van pulled up on a woman at a gas station, and two dudes got out in the back and one got in the front. And oh man, she was pumping her gas and she let them have it with that gasoline. Oh, she let them have it. She sprayed them all down, ready to light them on fire. And I was like, yo, light them up. Light them up. You know what I'm saying? So, did you guys see that video?
No.
No, not at all.
Oh man. Let me no, I'll say I don't know. I don't know the story behind this, but regardless of what the story is, I think it's ridiculous for anyone to have to go through this. It's really sad. But I'm glad she had the courage to take quick action when she did. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
And it's playing.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Nope.
All she needed was a lighter.
Word.
That's
Word.
awesome.
Word.
Wow, but that's scary. That
Oh,
really is, because people now don't have no fear and they're doing all kinds of stuff now,
It's awesome that she thought like that, though, that fast, though.
That she responded, right, exactly.
Absolutely. Oh man, man, listen, I
Like,
never
she got the
know,
phone.
but I hope they was driving down a highway and somebody in their convertible was done smoking a cigarette and was just like and lit them all up. You know what? I'm
Wow.
not I'm not gonna be that person right now to be like, well, I'm gonna turn the other cheek. No, in a situation like that, I hope they all got lit up on the way home.
Well,
Exactly.
they're gonna have a hard time trying to
Come
grab
lay down.
people now because that
Please get
smell
your
and
rest.
everything.
Come get your rest. I'm in the middle of
So she
something.
pretty
Come
much
get your
slowed
rest.
them down.
Can you say that again, Whitney?
She got it in their van and everything, so they're gonna have a hard time getting that smell out. So they're not gonna be able to get girls in that van. So she pretty much slowed them down. They got to clean all that out. They can't drive around in that.
No, I hate and you know what makes me
Yep.
sick? Let's say had she shot them and killed them, she would have got arrested.
True.
And that's what's wrong with this justice system, man. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't need to be overhauled. It needs to be burnt down and a new one built in its place. You know, but what I like for us to do in honor of the mothers in our lives, whether they're biological or not, I would like for us to go around and tell a story about the woman that we see as a mother in our lives. And we'll go with you, Johnny. We'll start with you. Go ahead, Johnny. You're on mute. Everybody, when you're done, please mute yourself. Are you able to unmute yourself, Johnny? All right, let's go with Whitney.
Okay,
Okay,
Maurice, can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Okay, this is something that I prepared. You know, I like to fictionalize everything.
Well,
So, you know,
before we read our poems, we're just gonna tell stories like just talk about either our mother or the person that we've seen as a mom in our lives, like what I mean, just a memory or something appreciation, that you have of them.
okay,
Off guard, didn't I?
I, I don't know. I'd much rather wait until we're reading our poems because that's what I put that into my poem. You know, I really don't have anything prepared to say now. I don't like to speak extemporaneously on much.
All right, if you so wish, we'll come back to you. Whitney.
Well, my mom was a single mom in the military. So I got raised by her and a bunch of other women spread out, like they came from like Chicago and, New Jersey and stuff. And when she would go away for training, for like 17 weeks at a time, I would go to just different women who raised me. So that's how I learned how to cook and do all kinds of different stuff. Um, and she stayed single her whole life, retired as an E8, and pretty much was everything, like my best friend and everything before she passed away. But she taught me exactly who I am. So she's pretty awesome to me.
Is there a point where you're going throughout the day or you're going through something and you're trying to figure something out and you're like, what will mom do? Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, a lot, because my mom somehow, even though she did all of that, like I said, retired as E8, she was head of a company and everything. She managed to do like all my school programs. She was the class teacher or class helper. She went to all my stuff. I was in dancing. I was in everything. And I like wake up and I have a headache. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to get up today. How does she manage to do all that stuff by herself? I'm like, I can't even make it to like take a shower today. I'm not functioning. So how does she do all this? But she was super amazing. I learned a lot because she'd go to like Japan and she took me to Hawaii. So you know, I learned a lot from her, and that's where I get my strength from. Because I tell myself, if my mom could do it, she taught me, you know, and she gave me strength, I can do it too.
And thank you for sharing some of that strength with us here tonight. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
Can
Sorry, sorry,
anybody?
you guys, I'm not on video. I apologize. I'm in the middle of meal prepping because I have to go to do some activism tomorrow. So I'm kind of like all over the place. So that's why I'm not on video.
Oh man, that would be the most awesome and epic footage of getting you meal prepping. You want to know why?
Why?
Because our featured speaker tonight is a mom and activist,
Oh,
right?
really?
Oh, absolutely. Her name is Sherry Honkala. She's the director of Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign and Poor People's Army, and she's going to be on at 8:30.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
thank you for the work that you're doing, Mom, and ensuring that our future is intact. And so, thank you very much. I appreciate you,
You're welcome.
Carrie.
Yes, sir.
Let's go with you.
Well, I remember my mom. My mom, she passed away on December 8th, 2014. Um, she was a very, very strong woman. Very strong woman, very intelligent, very smart. She was probably one of the top RNs in this city. She worked for the Springfield Health Department. She also was a school nurse at Commerce High. Um, I remember her as being very astute in politics. She had such a voice. And even right now, I miss her. I wish I could call her and talk to her right now. Um, as far as having other mothers, I have so many that I have adopted, so to speak, as my mother. Um, I have several. I can't even go into names right now, but I have several moms. Um, I honor every mother, not because they're a mother because they gave birth, but I honor every mother because of their heart, their diligence, and their minds.
At what points and times of the day are you reminded about your mom that makes you stop and think?
When I see something that reminds me of her, when I run across a scenario that reminds me of a choice or decision that she's spoken to me concerning, when I deal with different situations and circumstances, I'll think of her. Um, we'll never get over losing our mothers, never get over losing her. I think about her every day practically, you know. The point that I'm literally by myself right now. I know I have my children, but I don't have no family around me. So I am constantly trying to be strong for myself, if you understand what I mean. I have my children around to help me, but the whole bottom line is that I'm alone right now. So, um, she has always been a source of strength for me. I know that I can talk to her. And the funny thing about my mother, now that I'm remembering her, um, since I was never a phone person, um, my mom would call me. She said, "You got a phone and you never use it. You never pick up your phone. How come you never pick up your phone? I've been calling. I've been calling." And And I'd be like, Mom, I'm so sorry. 'Cause I'm just not, I wasn't a phone person, you know? Honestly, I'm more of a texter, but even that's dangerous. But I had so much respect for my mom. I really did. I really did. But yeah, it's certain circumstances, certain situations, certain things that transpire that remind me of her. And it doesn't matter the time of day or night.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Dominica, how you doing tonight?
I'm all right, hey, everybody.
Hey,
Dominica became a new mom the last couple. I like how that bird's coming along. Did you name them yet? So we're talking about our mothers or the women in our lives that we view as our mothers, and we're just honoring them and talking about memories of them. So you're up.
My internet is acting janky. Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah, we're acknowledging the mothers in our lives, or those who have been in our lives and have taken on the role of mothers. And you're up. It's your turn.
Okay, you got to give me a second. I'm going to go out and come back in because I'm really having trouble on my end. So I apologize. One moment.
We'll go. Andrea, you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing? Call it too. You there? When y'all not speaking, we just want to ask you to mute your microphones, please. All right, Andrea, would you like to go and share a memory of your mom or?
Not right now. No, I just came on.
All right.
Oh, excuse me. Am I caller number 2?
Yes, you're always calling number 2.
No, I was caller number 3 last time, so that's why I'm kind of confused. But anyhow.
Yeah, but come on, man. Let's be real, guys. Let's be real. That was a fluke that you was calling number 3. How you doing tonight, Jerry?
All right. Okay, I'm trying to game the system, man. So yeah. So I lost my mom last year to COVID, and it was a positive thing, or the positive thing about it was that she passed on May 11th, and last year Mother's Day was on May 10th. And so the week leading up to her passing, yeah, I was praying, I was hoping that she would give me one more Mother's Day with her. And she did, yeah, she passed the following day. So I was her primary caregiver for about 10 years. And I learned, we became friends. And I began to understand my mom, like, as a person, not just as my mother. And so, yeah, it was really, a pretty awesome experience for me. But I guess the main thing that I learned from her in retrospect is about joy, because I would tend to be a really serious person, kind of more like a provider. And so when I was basically advocating for her, throughout the healthcare system, I was just so focused on that I kind of lost track of, the joy part of life. And she was always bringing that back around to me. And so, yeah, I'm grateful to her for that. And it was basically, it was kind of like, her message was, you got to live, It's not just about surviving and, and making it from day to day. You got to have joy. You got to live, that's what life is about. So anyway, I just want to, that's my, what I want to say about my mom. She was 93 when she passed.
I want to say my condolences, but if you don't mind me asking, how did you get through that? Are you still like getting through it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
How did you get through her passing? Like, what helped you out? And are you still grieving?
Oh yeah, like I think it was Domenico who said we never get over losing our moms. But the thing, what made it okay for me, her passing. So she was in a nursing home, and when she got COVID, it was pneumonia that was her primary symptom. So they transferred her to a hospital, to Mercy Hospital. So basically what made her passing okay with me was the fact that had she recovered from that, she would have gone back to the nursing home. And at that time, they were just isolating patients in their rooms, and there was no visitation allowed. And the people that came in, to bring in their food or whatever, they were like fully suited. So I'm thinking, so my mom goes back into this setting, she's going to be like isolated in her room, and the only people she's going to see are going to be approaching her and treating her like she's contaminated, and so, and she's not going to have any other input. And so I was thinking that that's not something that I would want for her. I mean, obviously I didn't want her to pass, but I didn't want her to be living the last days of her life in that kind of situation, because for me, my advocacy for her was all about dignity and respect, and for a Black woman to be in her 90s, that is huge, So I was okay with her passing because I had spent time with her. I got to know her. She had a full life, and she had dignity and respect all the way up to the end.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. Thank you so much for sharing that information. And I know it must have been hard. And at some point down the road, I want to have a special action, a special around, people who have lost family members to COVID-19, and I'm gonna be hitting you up for that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. So the most difficult part of her passing for me was the way that COVID patients, people who die from COVID, the way that they're treated, and none of the traditional things can happen, from the hospital to the funeral home to the cemetery. There's no engagement, and people are just treated as if they're, contaminated, and so, so I mean, I still, to this day, I have not had a proper, celebration of her life for the people that knew her, family, friends, church members. I was thinking maybe, on the anniversary of her death, I could do that, but the timing didn't work. So at some point, I'm going to still have that happen for her. And Yeah, but for people who've experienced relatives who passed from COVID, you know what I'm talking about in terms of it's a very cold, impersonal way that their remains are dealt with, and so that's that was the most difficult part for me of her passing. But yeah, I appreciate being able to to talk about this because I don't really have an opportunity to really kind of reflect and talk about it. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. Dominica, welcome back.
Hey now.
Are you ready?
I hope my internet can hold on because I don't know what's happening today.
Let me ask you a question. I know you probably reset your computer, but did you reset your actual internet connection?
Yeah, I turned my modem off and restarted it.
Okay. Did you
If it don't work going forward, I'm gonna just call in like Jerry.
All right. All right, good. So while the getting's good, I'm gonna let you go ahead.
And what am I supposed to be doing?
We're honoring the mothers in our life, biological mother or the woman or women who played mother roles in your life. And
My grandma. Oh, sorry.
share a story.
My grandmother is my biggest influence, female in my life. I had multiple different women throughout my life that were positive influences. I even had some that were negative influences, but they helped build who I am today. So they all played a part. I talk to my grandmother every day. I'm on the phone for about 4 to 6 hours almost each day as she lives out of state. I don't know. I mean, I look to her for conversation currently, like to bounce ideas off of. And I also like to go from my generation back to her generation and look at the differences. So she's a big influence in my life, my grandmother.
Tell us one of the funniest moments that you remember that happened with you and your grandma.
One of the funniest moments with my grandmother?
Yes.
I remember walking with my grandmother when I was a kid, and I used to think, I used to like watching She-Ra and He-Man. And I used to think my grandmother had swords, but she actually was carrying a machete newspaper. I little didn't know. So when I got older and knew what a machete was, then I knew that's what she was walking around the neighborhood with because she was very short. So they called her the militant mid in her community. She was the eldest of her cousins and siblings, but everybody was scared of her, even though she was the smallest. She was the toughest. So when I used to I would get the machete, but I was thinking it was a sword. I'm running around telling everybody I got a sword like She-Ra, like He-Man, like the power of Grayskull. That was in there. I got older, I realized that my machete in the and she used to
All right, you're breaking up,
guys.
Dominica.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You was breaking up. I heard where you was talking about your grandmother had a machete, and you was telling people that you had a sword like He-Man and She-Ra,
Yes.
Grayskull, and then
Yes.
the connection got really bad after that.
Oh, and I was saying I was running around with it. She would never let me take it out the sleeve or the sheath. But she was the smallest in her community. And she was the smallest in her siblings and her cousins. But she was the oldest. Everyone was scared of her. They used to call it the midget.
The militant midget.
Yes.
That's a funny story. Thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate it. So we circle back around to Andrea.
Well, hi, everybody. Good to see you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Thumbs
Yes.
up. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I can't see you, Maurice, very much. You're very okay. Well, my mother died in 2004, so 17 years ago. And one of my very positive memories of her death is she died. She was in a assisted living facility down in Oklahoma near one of my brothers, and she was doing fine there, but she started wandering. She had some mild dementia, and she started wandering. She would go out for walks, and she would wander a little too far, and so they got concerned, and so they moved her to the locked unit of the facility where she couldn't go out except with supervision. And I think that just killed her spirit, because that was in sometime in January or early February, and she died in early April. She just kind of wasted away, and she got some kind of, I don't know, flu. She was just sick, and then she just never got better from it, kind of stopped eating. And I went down there numerous times to visit her. And the last time, my brother let us know that the end looked like it was fairly near. So I went down, and by that point, she was, I guess you would say, she was in a coma. She wasn't able to talk. I had seen her like a month before, and she knew me and recognized me, and we could talk and all of that. But this was, I got there, like 3 or 4 days before she actually died, and she never regained consciousness. But I'm a meditator, and I had brought with me a particular meditation tape, um, which you do with a partner. And in the meditation, first one person is sending love to the other person, and then halfway through it's kind of a guided meditation. Halfway through, um, the meditation leader tells you to switch, and the other person starts sending, and you receive the love. And so I wanted to do this with my mother, and I thought, well, I'll send her love for the first half, and then when he says to switch, I'll just keep sending her love, because she wasn't conscious. And she could not hear this tape either, by the way. I was listening to it through headphones, so she could hear nothing. So this was mainly for me. And so when we got to the halfway point and it told us to switch, all of a sudden, I just knew energetically that my mother was sending love to me. Actually makes me teary just remembering this now. I could feel it energetically that she was sending love to me. And so I stopped sending it to her, and I just received love from her for the second half of that tape. And that was, I don't know, a day or two before she actually died. So that was very beautiful for me, and I really hold on to that memory very, very positively.
Thank you, Andrea. And
You're welcome.
the last portion of your story, when you said that being a meditative person, you was listening to the tape and you send the love to your mother, and then you stopped to receive the love to your mother. I'm gonna take that as like one of the most amazing moments that you've experienced.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I've had a lot of amazing moments with meditation, I have to say.
Well, maybe when we do a group on meditation, we'll have to invite you to share your experiences with us.
Maybe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Maurice.
It is 8:30, and we have with us tonight one of the most incredible women on the face of the earth. I dare to say that. Sherry Hunkala, mother, activist, Shiro. When I say Shiro, I am not lying. You know, some people walk around giving themselves the title. You know, some people give them that title just to get some type of kudos, right? But this woman earned the title. I think I met her when I was like 19, 20 years old, and doing the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign. There was organizing a national march to hold the United States accountable for their human rights and justice, on housing, just all over the place. I mean, if you guys have been watching the news the last 4 years, then you pretty much know what I'm talking about. LGBTQ rights, Black issues with Black people, women rights, so on and so forth, economic rights, economic issues. One of the things, so when I first met them, you know, I was, my issues was, racism. Growing up in white neighborhoods, white schools and stuff like that, issues that I would face. Being a foster child in the foster care system, taken away from my family. And, you know, I was like, yo, are these people even serious about these issues? You know, and over time, right, like one of the most consistent things that I've seen with the Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign, you guys see the background and how the diverse crowd back there is not only in the crowd, because you know, like many movements, like white folks would just use Black and non-white people as like props. You have non-white people in the leadership making decisions, right? And that's been that way since day one. And one of the major goals is to bring poor people together from many different types of neighborhoods, because if we're divided, the rich is propped up. But if we can come together, and that's one of the things that Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign has been doing, educating poor people about the real economic issues and bringing us together. And now you see on her shirt, Poor People's Army. It's like Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign 2.0. And so it is my pleasure, my distinct pleasure, to introduce one of the leaders of Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign, Poor People's Army, Sherry Hunkala. Welcome, and thank you for being here tonight.
Oh, I'm very pleased to be here. It's, you know, it's always good to talk with you, to be a part of whatever you're involved in, Maurice, because it's always cutting edge.
Thank you. That's that's dope. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Before you came on, it's interesting. Whitney, are you still there?
I am.
Whitney, who is an activist out of way out there. Where you at, Whitney?
I'm in Seattle.
So I was like, Whitney, how come your camera's not on? She was like, I hope you guys don't mind, the camera's not on. I'm prepping meals for the protest tomorrow. I'm like, that would have been awesome footage because Sherry Honkala is a mother activist. It would be incredible. So I just wanted to introduce you all to each other because Whitney, man, you tell Whitney is an amazing activist, model, community leader, however you want to say it. She reminds me a little bit about you, Sherry. And so I just want to make sure you all got a chance to at least visually connect, virtually connect, and I'll make sure you guys are connected, extensionally. But mother to mother, activist to activist, it's incredible to have two of you all on here. And Andrea has a history of activism as well. So yeah, it's amazing to have you all on here tonight. I want to say thank you all for the amazing and incredible work that you all are doing. I don't have any children, but I have friends of mine who are single parents. I have friends of mine who are men who have children and are complaining about how hard it is. But then I see the single mothers taking care of the children, doing the activism, working on making this world a better world for their children, their grandchildren. And I'm like, wow, there's something really off balance here, but I definitely want to say thank you all for the work that you're doing. I really appreciate that. And I hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day. And I hope you all truly, truly feel appreciated. Domenica, Terry, Andrea, Whitney, and Sherry. Thank you all very much for all the work you're doing. Thank you.
Well, you do pretty amazing work too, and we really appreciate it.
I want to, Sherry, I invited you on tonight because I definitely wanted to pay homage to all the women out there who have been involved into activism, the mothers who have been involved in activism to ensure a better world for their children. And I wanted to ask you if you can, just touch on what it's been like to be an activist and a mother. Like, how did you juggle the two over all these years?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing because that was just, we didn't have a choice our whole lives, so we just did it because we had to do it. I too want to give a shout out to all the foster kids that are out there, kids that are in institutions tonight, to all the homeless mothers that are in takeover houses right now in Philly and in other parts of the country, and to mothers that are locked up right now. This is a hard weekend, and to the mothers that haven't gotten their stimulus checks, that don't have their unemployment, that have been cut off of public assistance, and that are gonna spend Mother's Day outside. And also to the large number of mothers that I know that have lost their children because they were, shot this last year, or to the mothers that are grieving their children this last year that died from the opiate crisis or some kind of drug overdose. So I think I got all my shout outs there. So I think, over these, last 30 years, we just did stuff because we had to do it. My youngest son is disabled, so I'll kind of be like assisting him forever, more so than, some kids get to a certain age and then they go on. And well, actually, that's not really true. I think kids, when they're younger, they're sometimes physically exhausting, and then when they get older, it doesn't matter if they're 90 years old, they're emotionally exhausting. But either way, your kids always need you. Um, but yeah, um, I was, taken from my mom when I was 13 and raised in 9 different institutions before I was 16. And so I've kind of spent my whole life trying to figure out how to keep families together. And the only way that I've been able to figure out how to do that is by taking back the basic necessities of life. And so, we have more takeovers now than any place in the entire country. We take over abandoned properties that are owned by the federal government. And, it's like every 2 or 3 days, we're taking another property and housing another mother and her kids because they don't have any place else to go. So we're kind of building, continuing to build this new underground railroad in order to keep people alive. It's really getting challenging, because it's just 10 million people didn't pay rent in January. And so it's kind of like, how do we quickly build this raft or this ship or something in order to keep everybody from going under from the tsunami? So, yeah. And so, I think one of the things I've been blessed to have is this movement, is to have people like you, Maurice, because you know how we do. Everybody's raising everybody's kids. And it really is that village style, right? Like, you know, my children have at least 100 mothers that can tell them to, shut up and sit down or stand up and speak up. And that, feed them, you know. Anytime I go to jail, there's at least 5 immediate women that see themselves as the mothers to take care of my, son when I'm in jail. So, that's the thing that I am very grateful for. And I should give a shout out to many of those, both women and, stand-in mothers and stand-in fathers that are responsible for making both of my sons who they are. Because, I have over 200 some arrests. And so that's meant a lot of people stepping in to take care of my children over the years when, they needed somebody to be there. Um, and it's also been very, I'm very lucky because, you know, my youngest son, Guillermo, he started to fall asleep at demonstrations in his stroller, as early as like 4 or 5 years old. So there'd be like hundreds of police officers standing there, and he'd be like so bored by the scene that he'd he'd go to sleep in his stroller. And Galen and I would be holding up demonstrations because we would have to change our babies at the same time in the hallway at housing and urban development before we engaged in sit-ins. But we've had amazing kids. I mean, they know how to ride on the floor of vans across the country. They know how to fly. My son had a passport when he was 6 weeks old, and traveled with me and met with peasant organizations all over the world. Uh, you know, spent a couple months in Venezuela, and all they had was Portuguese on one particular television. Uh, and so he just watched, Spanish and Portuguese programs from early morning until late at night. So it's been a hell of a ride. And I'm very thankful because I've been surrounded by so many beautiful, alive people that know the real important things in life, and that being each other. And I think I've pretty much raised both of my kids that same way, is to, um, figure out how to navigate life to the point that, um, you could find some place to be safe and warm if they tried to take everything away, and to share everything that you have, and never rely on the enemy's money. So that's my short answer.
Thank you. I appreciate that answer. Are there any regrets? I know that's a hard question, and I think I know the answer to that, but I just want to. Are there any regrets?
Yeah. So back in the day, I mean, anybody that would come around with like a college degree, come around from academia, or come around in suits, and tell us that they were going to bestow all of this wisdom on us, and this is the way we had to do things. And we made some mistakes, and we would follow them because we just felt like, okay, well, they're from the university, they have degrees, they've studied this or that. And we had to learn the hard way, that the most powerful thing that we have is our own voices. And we, had some, lessons in betrayal, and learned a lot about the importance of building a multiracial movement from below. So we don't care what color somebody is, but we definitely take our marching orders from the people that know what it's like to try and, put some change together to buy a gallon of milk. Um, and yeah, and so that's one of the things that I'm most proud of is, I've traveled all over the country, and I haven't found any other, large numbers of people that are like, truly multiracial, that would fight, you know, tooth and nail, for their other brothers and sisters, other than in the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign and the Poor People's Army. So,
Yeah,
um,
I just
yeah.
want I just want to say something to that. The times that I stop and I take out my video camera to cop watch, people getting stopped by the police, and people like, "What are you doing?" And I try to educate them on what I'm doing because it's not really a popular thing here. One of the things that I swear to you, one of the things that allowed me to do that is knowing that if they beat the shit out of me, the Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign has my back. You know what I'm saying? And so that is why I can do that. You know what I mean? When cops come to me, and I'd be like, I don't need to answer your questions. Or, if I ask someone, hey, are you feeling okay? And the cop says, back up. Well, I'm back up far enough. You know what I'm saying? I can't ask them questions. Are you okay? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm okay. And then I'll just, back up and just keep videotaping, not get in the way and stuff like that. But because of the work that you, Galen, and so many other people do, Matt, I can engage even if I'm by myself, because I know that if they touch me, there is hell to pay.
Sure.
So I want to thank you all very much for that courage that you all have given me, and so many other people. I really appreciate that. COVID has impacted motherhood. Can you let us know in what ways it's changed motherhood or has made it harder, if you will?
Well, I mean, I know for myself, this last in 2020, I was one of the first people to get that I knew to get COVID, which totally made sense. With my great health and being in a community where there's like 1 million people that are homeless and sleep right outside my house. And so there's, we already have an epidemic. We have, the largest number of people dying uh, on the East Coast corridor here in Kensington from drug overdoses. And then also, we also have a Hep A pandemic here. And so COVID fit right in to all of the other sad things that we're dealing with. I think the hardest thing has been just the large numbers of people that we've lost. We were already dealing with large numbers because more people have died from the opiate crisis than Vietnam. And I'm already a regular. I got myself ordained online so that I could, marry and bury people for free. And so, it's a sad day when you're on a first name basis with funeral parlors. And when you're negotiating rates for, different families to have different things done. So as a mother, that has been the very, very difficult thing. Is just the amount of people that all of us have had to bury this last year has been, very, very difficult. And I've always said, those of us that, we give birth to the people that we have to, bury and raise. So it's a different kind of thing. And then also all the young pregnant women this year, I know it's been also a hard, difficult, terrifying experience, not knowing, what do I do with COVID, and then also having to deal with our children and mental health issues, just the absolute isolation. I have an autistic kid that can pretty easily get, caught up in isolation, and then COVID hit. And he was doing really good with, developing a lot of friends and that kind of stuff. And one of the things that is helpful that keeps his spirit going and keeps him happy is, playing in his band and playing music at the School of Rock. And when the School of Rock closed down, it was like, oh my God. And, it just wasn't the same for those kids online. So, as a mom, that's always our number one thing that we worry about, is our kids. And, similar to the mothers of the disappeared in Argentina. I think, the ruling class enemy knows that the way to get to a mother, right, is not get her, is to go after her children. And so the fact that we've had to, had so many life and death challenges. Also, I don't, I know in other parts of the country, but in Philadelphia, we have record number now, one of the highest numbers of homicides, of kids dying from being shot as well. So whether it's, our kids being shot down, you know, we've been through all of that this year. You know, one of our leaders, Samaj, he was 10 years old, and he was the one that was on national news. They, you know, he was shot. And so having to organize, and, you know, thank God he lived. But to have to deal with all of this on top of COVID has been quite a challenge. So
Thank
I
you.
would say has been loss, and teaching our kids how to deal with loss.
What, and I know you have to leave soon, so would you, about 9 o'clock, right? You gotta
Yeah,
get up. Okay. Um,
for my life.
for those who believe that it is impossible for us to come together, um, what would you say to them?
I would say um, the people that you want to have on your team. It's not so much like, oh, let me sit around and figure out like who do I want on my team. Um, you know, and that's why we're really looking to the Zapatistas, and we're looking at, and that's why we're calling ours the Poor People's Army, um, is because it really is a war that we're fighting out here. And so it's not, we can't do things like we used to do back in the days of the nonprofit industrial complex, and, you know, just have various different, um, uh, you know, discussions on how do we work together, that kind of stuff. Um, but we have to figure out how do we unite people on a battlefield for their very survival. And how do we link with those fighters? And I say this all the time, you know, it's like having kids on a railroad track. Is it really a choice when you push them out of the way? When you see kids on a railroad track. Well, the people that I want around me when I'm, you know, dodging bullets in Kensington, um, are the same people that live here, that know how to dodge bullets, that have already been practicing mutual aid before it became a popular thing to say mutual aid. We've always been sharing our milk. We all, you know, whether we're black, white, or brown, we know how to push a car when you run out of gas. We know how to siphon gas. We know how to turn on our utilities for each other if we need our utilities turned on. Um, so I think that there's a growing equality of misery. And I really believe that we are capable of globalizing below. And a challenge that I have for people of whatever color in the US is we need to start giving a damn about our brothers and sisters in Venezuela, in Colombia, in Haiti, and we need to develop an international brain, right? where where you know, in the US, it's not just about black, white, and brown. We need to have an international lens, and we need to care about the thing that we all have in common is that our government can prevent these human rights violations, not just to um, uh, poor people here in this country, but all around the world. That's what all of these things have in common. And so we need to globalize from below. And we
So
can,
go ahead. What were we gonna say, Cher?
no, I was just going to say, we can globalize from below because our very lives depend upon it. Um, and, you know, it's amazing when, you know, black, white, and brown mothers are having to scrape together money together to bury their kids, or to come up with some food, or, you know, just you know, we've got every color in the rainbow in takeover houses right now. And nobody cares. You know, they're not the, you know, the main focus of like workshops or discussions or whatever. But uh, there's, you know, there's a deep love for each other, and a desire to have a better life for everybody.
Thank you. And before you go, I've started doing this thing where people can ask questions and answers. So I know you got a
No
minute or
problem.
so.
No problem.
I know you got about a minute or so. So
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give this to Whitney because she's following in the same footsteps. So Whitney, go ahead. If you have a question for Sherry.
I guess being out here in Seattle, and we're networking and reaching out to other groups too. I would like to know what I myself am a Black Panther. Um, I would like to know how we could help out here, like help you guys and support you.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I think that if we could share our information with each other, and if we could start by having a Zoom conversation with each other, I think one of the number one things that we've suffered from is a total, you know, you hear about different groups taking over like one house or two house, and they're on national news. Well, can you imagine having over 50 properties, and there's no news of it anywhere in this entire country? And there's a reason for that. So I would say lifting up the work that we're doing would be incredibly important through whatever you guys are doing in the Black Panther Party in California. And we're
Yes,
actually,
we're
yeah,
we're
go ahead.
we just got in touch with some people in Detroit. We'll be going down to California too. But we're networking out here with different communities out here, different groups too. Sisters of Solidarity, TNG. We've got out here not only helping the homeless, but we're doing small Black businesses. Like they're setting up. We do like tomorrow is we go out and all of them are just businesses in general. They're doing vendors, and we've been doing it for the last couple months, and it just keeps growing and growing, and people are networking, expanding. But from there, I've gotten to meet so many different activists, and uh, just meet so many people that are really trying to help the community. People from helping young children in shelters, and to women to get into shelters. So any way to help, definitely. We're probably going to be reaching out to more Black Panthers out. We actually just announced that we are starting up the White Panther movement, which actually started in Detroit in 1966. So we are going to be heading that up. We already have somebody out here starting that. So and we're working with everybody. It's just, I mean, we have to be the Black Panthers, yes, but we're for the whole community, and we're for making a lot of change. We're not doing we're not doing this no more. This is not okay. It's not happening anymore.
Awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, I mean, you know, and of course, we would love for people to stop giving money to, you know, the nonprofit industrial complex, and instead support efforts. Like we're trying to get we have some single fathers that, that can't see their kids right now because they have custody issues unless they have housing. And so we're trying to get some housing for some of the men right now so that they can see their kids. So, and the list goes on. There's a million things. But yeah, money and media, those are two things we need.
Well, you know that, you have us, the Poetic Recovery radio station. If you have
So,
any um, anything recorded that you want to get out there, we can help with that. The good thing is that we are growing slowly, but surely we are growing.
we appreciate everything too, Maurice. We just, we love you like crazy. You're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Um,
Sherry,
Sherry,
can you say the name of your organization again?
Yeah, it's the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, and it's also known as the Poor People's Army.
and I'll make sure that I'm gonna start a conversation between you and Whitney, so that you got this, so that you all are in touch.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Really, I'm really honored to meet everybody.
Do you have time for one more question? Do you have to run out?
Sure. No, I got one more.
All right. So, because I respect my elders and no disrespect, but I want to go to Andrea and see if Andrea has a question, because Andrea has been involved in work in Western Mass and fighting racism for a while. And so, um, when you have someone who's older who's been through things that you haven't been through, and then they see people after them coming along, it creates a conversation. So I want to honor Andrea and the work that she's done, and ask her if she has a question that she'd like to ask you.
I just would like to support you from a distance. I'm not quite sure how to do that, but is there a way to contact you, or and is your
Yes.
organization just in Philadelphia, or is it? It
Oh,
sounds like it's
national.
nationwide.
Okay.
Yeah, we're national. We're just, I learned something a while ago. Is if everybody knows about you, chances are that the ruling class wants people to know about you. And so we have been pretty underground for the last 30 years. Just like I said earlier, right? Uh, they don't want us to get the support. So you don't hear about us. And
Yeah,
you know how it goes.
for
You know,
sure.
so
So,
yeah, yeah, Maurice can pass on my information to both of you. And, quite frankly, we've got life and death situations that we're dealing with right now. Situations in which mothers are going to lose custody. If we're trying to open up a few more human rights houses in order to keep families together. So those are the important things. And, wrapping people that have, uh, strong social networks and resources and that kind of stuff, and directing them in this direction is the best thing.
so one of the things that we were doing tonight, or that I had added to this, is to help raise funds for Poor People Economic Human Rights Campaign, which does housing takeovers to make sure that homeless families have housing, single moms, single fathers, and stuff like that. So throughout the year, we'll keep sharing the link. So if you could send me the fundraising link for Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, we'll ensure that it continues to go out throughout the year to help raise funds through our network.
We appreciate that. Thank you, Maurice.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. And so
All right.
I'll make sure you get Andrea excited.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for coming on, Sherry. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys as well. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
I have to go too, Maurice. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. I'll make sure you get that information.
Great. Bye, everybody.
Good night. And have a great Mother's Day weekend. I was trying to get that in. Wow, that was an amazing, I thought that was a great interview. Great insight on the work that goes on at Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, and what mothers go through doing their best to create a better world. to movements. Wow, I'm kind of blown away by that. I'm amazed. I'm excited that she came on this Poetic Recovery Culture Exchange show tonight. And that just lets us know where we are headed as a network, as a culture organization, creating space for healing and encouraging healing. So thank you all for being here tonight. So y'all know where we go from here. I do want to give a shout. Oh, I do want to say one thing. That question that I had about motherhood and COVID came from Natalie Vicencio, who is organizer in the area. I was communicating with her, and she brought up. She was like, "You know what would be a good question was," and so I was working on planning a really elaborate celebration for tonight, but I got really sick and I was down for like 2 months. I wasn't able to walk, so that kind of fell by the wayside. But I did not want this weekend to go past because every year Poetic Recovery has always done something for Mother's Day, so I had to continue to make something happen. So I want to thank you all for coming out and making this happen. But I do want to give a shout out to Gianna. Gianna, you there?
Yes, hi, Maurice.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Welcome. Thank you for coming on tonight. Gianna Allentuck, man, one day I'm gonna have to have her on and we'll go through our history. Has done some amazing work in the lives of children in Black and Brown communities through education. And so, and as a mother, reaching out to other mothers in our communities and stuff like that, and making sure that their children are getting what they need. I want to thank you very much, Gianna, for the work that you're doing. So just want to shout you out.
Thank you for inspiring, Maurice, and I'm sure everybody else on here is just as inspiring. So thank you all as well.
Absolutely. John, you got that poem? Oh, and actually, before you go, caller number 3, is that you, Dominica? You're on mute. Sean, welcome. Thank you for coming through.
Okay, is it Sean or John? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, hold on for a second, John. There's a John and there's a Sean.
Okay.
Just want to make sure who's in the group. All right, John, go ahead. You're up, buddy.
Okay, well, first of all, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, now, I'm essentially a writer of fiction, so I fictionalize everything, especially my past. I fictionalize my past because I guess it's too painful for me to deal with it in a nonfiction setting. And when Maurice suggested that I write something on the theme of motherhood, this is what I came up with, featuring alter ego, the filthy feline. The filthy feline had only vague recollections of Rosemary Stuart Smith, his mother. She was the kind of person who didn't make much of an impression. Filthy's father was dynamic, even domineering. Yet Mother was the exact opposite. She tended to fade into the background. Mother had brown eyes and brown hair. She had a kind of Mediterranean appearance. This was understandable, since her mother was Italian. What the feline remembered most about his mother was the fact that she was such a disillusioned person. Her father died when she was a baby, so she was brought up by her mother Adelina, a struggling seamstress. Young Rosemary proved to be a hard worker, even at an early age. She took lessons in voice and dance and excelled at these disciplines up to a certain point, despite the fact that she had very little natural talent. She excelled in school, despite the fact that she was not exceptionally intelligent. Rosemary decided that a career in the sciences would be more stable and remunerative than one in the arts. She won a scholarship to study at Hunter College, where she majored in science. She later got a master's degree at Mount Holyoke, Western Massachusetts, where she met Roger Scruton Smith, the filthy feline's father. Things started to fall apart for Rosemary when she attempted to finish her doctoral thesis. It seems that she didn't have the intellectual acumen necessary to complete a doctorate. Hard work alone only got her so far. In the end, she didn't have the intelligence and natural ability to make her dream. Life did not turn out the way Rosemary expected. She pictured herself as a ballerina, or an operatic soprano, as a full professor at an Ivy League university. Instead, she ended up marrying a debt-ridden businessman slash small-time gangster. The family was continually in debt. Instead of working as a singer or dancer or professor, Rosemary spent most of her life working in retail. As a result, Filthy was mostly raised by his grandmother, Adeline. In one more instance of disillusionment, Rosemary was, to a great extent, unable to raise her own child. Rosemary embodied disillusionment. She practically broadcast it. And this is what she bequeathed to her son: an awareness of things as they are, not as one would like them to be, an awareness of the grim drudgery of day-to-day existence, an awareness of the hunk of life. From his mother, from his father, Filthy learned that life wasn't good. Perhaps life was tolerable, especially in the midst of a hypomanic episode. People went around saying, God is good, life is good, have a nice day. Yet these statements do not reflect things as they are. God, far from being good, is non-existent. Life, far from being good, is distasteful. And as for having a nice day, one is lucky one has a day that can be described as neutral. The end.
I like that.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. Does anybody else have some poetry? What about you, Gianna?
I was just thinking, John, thanks for sharing. Love the kind of not the vocab, but the kind of the imagery that you raised. But John, I was wondering, did you ever do voiceovers, or do you do voiceovers for a living?
Maybe I should. You know what my dream is? I've talked to Maurice about this. I wish that I could just sit in front of a microphone, have somebody else feed me copy, and have me just read things that are written by other people without thinking, be paid for it. So yeah, I have thought about that. Maybe
Would
someday I'll do that. If I didn't have to do too much writing on my own.
Gianna, I'm trying to get him on a radio show.
legit. I mean, John, I'm telling you, like, I was just like, I would listen to this guy's voice all day. Like, it's like, like I feel like it
Exactly,
should be
that's
in
what I'm saying.
commercials or radio or movie, whatever. But the piece that you shared is awesome. But your voice, I was like, this guy's got to be on something.
I'm gonna just put this out in the universe. If I can get a laptop, I will ensure that John can get it and he get a DJing spot on the Poetic Recovery radio show. So I'm just putting it out there. Whatever ears it affects, y'all can get back at me. Y'all know where to reach me, poeticrecovery.net. Yeah. No, Gianna, like we've been saying that for a while, and we're gonna work to make it happen. It's gonna happen. Definitely.
Great. Thanks again for sharing, John.
Does anybody else got any poetry? Nobody? All right, I'll tell you guys what. In the chat room, you guys put in the word, one word per person, and I'll come up with a freestyle. And this is one of my favorite poems that I've written. It's called I Want to See the Way to a Brighter Day. I want to see the way to a brighter day. I want to see the way to a brighter day, yeah. My abuse of horrific past is gone. Back then it was the dawn of uprising pain and self-destruction, life slowly disrupting. For being the lost child, the predator in the wild, learning about straps and razors, intimidation and sexual favors. Bagging drugs, alcohol, and life. Ironically, I wanted to live right. But my emotional door was closing, my spirit and hope began eroding. I wanted to die, evaporate. I prayed for life and mine to separate. Molestation and abuse dissolve positive projection, yet still inside I fought for correction. I want to see the way to a brighter day. Want to see the way to a brighter day, yeah. Nobody changed my life but threatened me to live right. It was the lost time that sent the sign that I can do whatever despite the stormy and the weather. Counselors, pastors, the convicts saw my potential as intricate. In the jail cell, kneeling and praying, they saw my potential before it did. It was the bad boys that threw me hope, the good boys threw me dope. So I decided to be somebody, not just a lump of something sorry. I had to develop a plan so that I could become a responsible Black man. I want to see the way to a brighter day. I want to see the way to a brighter day, yeah, yeah. This dark land is filled with barriers I can't see. Suicidal behaviors and misery. This journey won't be short or easy. I want to rid self of negativity within me. Doesn't mean I'm bad, just an environmental product. A foster child trying to get unstuck. DSS don't come around anymore. My mind beating, accepting lashes like a freaky whore. I told my story, they gave me a noose. So it doesn't matter when leaders give up, appropriately use this so they can rise up on an economical level and forget us. Don't let the door hit us where the get lost split us. Is what they say, so I pray, and I pray. Want to see the way to a brighter day. I want to see the way to a brighter day, yeah, day. Thank you.
I like that piece.
Really, really good.
I like that.
Thank you.
Hey, so anyway, I have a short piece now I can read. You were asking for poems. I got a short little piece that I can do. And
Jerry,
but
get it, Jerry.
yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Gina because I've been following your column in the point of view. I don't know if you're still writing it, but I picked that up a while back. And yeah, so it's yeah, you have some inspiring words and insights and contributions. So I just want to give you a shout out. Plus, I know you're a mom as well, and so happy Mother's Day to you, to all the ladies out there, whether you're a mom or a aunt or whatever, a mother figure. But anyway, yeah. So I do have this little short piece that I could read.
Hey, Jerry,
Yeah.
are you going to read it?
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if I was still on or not. Yeah. So anyway, this is a piece I call Mnemonic Excursions. Getting lost used to mean something, like the realm of no return, like the ordeal of lions and tigers and bears,
Oh my.
like the melody. Pardon?
Oh my bad. I thought I was on mute.
Okay, all right. So let me start over again so I can run this through. Getting lost used to mean something, like the realm of no return, like the ordeal of lions and tigers and bears, like the malady of miasma, like the onset of hypothermia, starvation, or trench foot. In the woods and elsewhere, the lot of the lost is circular. The lot of the lost is redundant. What separates the lost from the found is recall. Memory is a map to nowhere when X marks the spot, but you don't connect the dot. When the advent of rescue pales in comparison to the mirage. Thank you. That's mnemonic excursions.
Oh wow, man. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Jerry, always, go ahead. Jerry always comes through and drops the bomb. You dropped the bomb on me. Gianna, do you got anything?
Wanted to thank Jerry for sharing. And Jerry, thank you also for your kind words about my column, and thank you for reading it. But most especially, thank you again for sharing. I love the the mirage effect and ending it with that. Thought it was just super. Thank you.
Hey Sean, are you there?
You're most welcome.
Sean, you there?
Yes, I'm here, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, bro. Thank you very much, man. You got something you want to read?
Yeah, let's take a look to see what I got here in my pad. All right, let's see.
While you're looking, the only person that put a word in chat is Jonathan. So you guys want to put a word in the chat so I can make up a poem, please feel free. Go ahead, Sean.
I got something, Maurice, whenever you're ready.
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, let's see. The poem is called Plans. Plans, the future, ideas, anywhere to go? Yeah, I have one place. Where are you to go? I'm going to a mountain top. Top of the hill, top of the yard, top of the forest. Maybe, just maybe. I'll look to it once I get to the top. Never look down, but also never looking up. This is where I belong, at the top. Where I'm from, you'll see me. I'm still at the top.
Thank you, Sean. Hey, Gianna,
Thank
you
you,
got a
Sean.
word? You got a
Well,
word, Gianna?
yeah, we put him in the chat, Maurice. It says wish, peace, star, and cat.
Oh, wow. I'm up here yelling at y'all, and y'all put words in there. I only saw one word, and that was John's. But it ended up being that John's was the last word that came up. My
Yeah, we
bad.
know. We got
My
you,
bad.
Maurice.
My bad. My bad. I apologize. I stand corrected.
Sean, thank you for sharing. I love the never look down.
Thank you, thank you.
Good reminder for all of us.
Whitney, you got something you want to share?
Oh, not right now. I've really been just working on stuff, but I didn't write this week. I've been in a lot of conferences, so my brain's just kind of out of it.
You know what, Whitney? I want to switch things up for you a little bit. You mind if I throw out something to you? I know you do modeling and you work with different models and stuff like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to choose some pictures throughout the week that you want to share with us on a Friday, you know,
Sure.
you can do maybe a little collage, and then use the share button, and then you can go through each one and you can let us know a story behind it.
Sure, I'll do that. And it's I don't know if you've noticed if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, but I usually do my poems that go with the photos that I shoot. So that's why, like, for me to sit down and write, I really have to think. But when I do my modeling and stuff, that's where the poetry comes in, and that's, how I do it. So I have to sit there and think. But yeah, I could definitely do that. That would be fine. I'll do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to get someone to come into the group. She's having a hard time. Jerry, you got Jerry. Oh, hold up. Gianna,
Sir,
do you have anything you'd like to read for us?
I do not. I'll try and get my daughter next time.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, she heard me. Whoop, she just perked right up.
Tell us hello.
You know what
I
it is,
will.
Maurice? It's that you guys have really good like story voices. So like I like to come on just so I can hear like everybody read their poems, because I like just hearing everybody's voice. It inspires me, but it's like story time for me.
Yes, yeah, Maurice. Can I add a word? I don't have access to chat, but can I add a word to your
No,
to the
Jerry.
thing you're gonna do?
No, Jerry. If you like to add a word, get a phone, log in on your phone, and then access the chat. Jerry. No, go ahead. What do you want to add?
Okay, because I was gonna throw this out, man. But I was gonna just let everyone know that I'm trying to connect with Maurice so he can hook me up so I can come on, get my video together, but we never connect on that, So I'm basically that's why I'm on my phone mode. But anyway, so the word I want to add to the chat, and I forgot what I was going to say, but I'm going to pull a word. I'm going to say headwinds.
What? See, you know what, Jerry? Man, what the
Yeah, headwind.
the hell is that?
I'm not even sure, but I know it's a word, man.
No, you
but
can't.
I'm not even sure.
You don't.
But,
If you don't know the,
but
if you don't, no, if you don't, the number one
you
rule I
say
have.
we have to define it.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what. One of the things I do is I ask people what the meaning of the word is. If you don't know, then shame on you. I'm not using that word because you don't even know the meaning. So don't even try it. Pick another word that you know
Okay,
the
all
meaning.
right. Okay, tailwind.
Maurice,
Yes, ma'am.
well, Jerry's thinking Cecilia said she would recite her poem.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah. She doesn't want her face on.
that's fine.
All right. So I guess I'll just stand it in front of her. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, so for the others, this is my 15-year-old daughter, Cecilia.
Yeah. Why must it always be negative rather than relative to the things that make us smile? What makes life worthwhile? And when I'm feeling low, I can always know that I have someone at my back pushing when I fall back. A push into the ring when my gloves are worn, my knuckles are torn, and I just need some water. My world on fire, my brain can barter, but no deal will seal the cracks in the steel when everything real seems to just steal the smile. The worthwhile life making sense, it's for the taking, all I feel is tense. It's heartbreaking, a young girl like me, lost in a whirl at sea. The ship is the ship is sinking, captain drinking, too drunk to see the iceberg. We dunk into the cold and regurgitate this madness that will litigate happiness until the water drowns the spotter and the weight comes crashing down. It's too late to save me now. No more smiles, no more sound. Life worthwhile is a prospect that I can only contest, for I cannot remember nothing past last December, when the snow buried the glow of a warm and friendly smile that would spoil me in June. My favorite tune, the soft song all summer long that never left my ears. Now white noise brings me to tears. All my fears take the gears. No more light, no more sight, only darkness. All the finance of my thoughts begin to add up. The money they toss in flames, they burn up, and the blaze lights the maze of my mind. One of a kind to me, not to we. Yet standing in the flames, withstanding the burn, I forget all those names whose brains they churn just as mine. I'm in chains. I forget all those names, yet recall all those names who caused all my pains that hold me in restraints. All their words, pounding, sounding, like remains of too many whose names I've forgotten, because only the negative is what's solely on my mind. And I find a sedative because feeling dead like dirt means less hurt than living burnt.
Wait, where are you going? Oh.
Yo, is she done?
Wow.
It was good.
She's
That's all I
done.
can say.
Holy jeez.
Oh, wow.
Where's she at?
She's right here. No, you don't have to get on. Just say you're here, Cecilia.
Hi.
Hello. You might not remember me, but we've met.
I remember.
She did poetry
Right.
for you when she was like 10.
I'm gonna stop writing poetry because damn. Wow. Holy cow. There's a lot of great imagery in there.
Thank you.
A lot of great transitions. Wow. Wow.
I just have to say, you're simply amazing. That was beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now,
Yeah,
Maurice,
I
you gotta follow
absolutely.
her.
You can come on Poetic Recovery anytime you want. I'm just saying.
And
Thank you.
and Maurice, it had a lot to do with mental health, and she's got some mental health challenges. So the healing and the recovery definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really engrossed in that piece, and it was so multi-dimensional. But what I took away from it, kind of like the two anchor points I got from that, was like fire and ice, and and that polarity, it was a lot in between. But I was really I was kind of captivated by that piece. So yes, you are a very talented writer, and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you.
What is your name again? Because I don't want to get your name wrong.
Cecilia.
Cecilia.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Jerry.
Yes.
I don't care if you never come back. We got Cecilia in the house now.
Shit. Maurice, be nice.
Yeah. So I'm thrown under the bus yet again.
You know I'm just messing with you, Jerry.
No, I'm good,
Hey, listen.
But that was absolutely awesome piece. And I guess the thing about it that was really that was the most exciting is that I definitely have the sense that there's more where that came from.
You know when the part in her poem is like in the beginning, towards going towards the middle of it, she was saying something about someone being behind her back. I can imagine. I wasn't imagining Gianna and her dad, being there for her in that poem. And what that reminded me of was that word tailwind, right? Like the force that's there, So the word that you said, Jerry, kind of sprung to mind. But Gianna, if you ever want to record her poetry, I'm more than willing to put it up on a radio station so people can hear her words.
Oh, thank you, Maurice.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I meant to send that to you a while ago. I was going to do just that, just because it's when she recites it, it feels almost like a song to me. So and thank you all for your kind words, supportive words. Yeah, I'll get it to you, Maurice, or we can work together and record her.
Okay. That's just dope. That is just... All right, I'm gonna try to do this, Pete. Wow, that's messed up. Oh my Lord. So the words y'all gave me is wish, peace, star, cat, tailwind. All right, Jerry, what's a tailwind?
It has to do with like a flight, being in flight like a plane, and it's kind of like turbulence.
So is it like the wind? Is it like the wind?
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's kind of like an aerodynamic, like a force. When you're in motion, when you're sailing, it's kind of like one of the many forces that you gotta kind of keep in check in order to stay on path, to stay on track. That's the best I can describe it.
It's a wind blowing in the direction of travel of a vehicle or aircraft, a wind blowing from behind. All right. Okay. Poetic recovery has become my tailwind. People who I could never imagine that would have my back has become my tailwind. Feeling guilty that mothers of other children have given me just what I needed. It's interesting because they never feel without. No doubts. This life of mine, with all of its pain and all of its misery, the idea of community has created a shelter, like someone came and built an igloo within inside of a mansion, within inside of a community, within inside of a state, within inside of a it's as if somebody built a place just for me, and I still can't believe it. I still want to cry. I still want to run away because it just feels like somebody else is just going to take me for granted, like my brother did, like my father did, my sisters, like so many have done. So I walk away, tears down my eyes, feeling like I don't belong, looking in the sky for that shining star, hoping one day to find peace. Yet when peace comes, I'm scared, the quiet. Do I belong here? The quiet. Making room for my thoughts, the quiet, the screams, the sounds, the thoughts of not wanting to be there any longer. Now that I'm here, I can't believe it. The journey. Trying to be as flexible as a cat, stretching whenever I can, so that I can be ready at a moment's notice to pounce on any opportunity that comes my way, to climb the fences of society, to squeeze myself into any crevices that I can possibly can, so that I can come out on the other side. I wish that no one has to live like this. But as long as there is someone that lives like this, Poetic Recovery will be their tailwind. We will be the wind blowing at their back. And if they fall down, we will encourage them to get up. Because those bad times don't last forever. And if they ever feel like that they're on a sinking ship, we will be there to help rescue them. And if they ever feel like they're without a captain, we'll be there to help them steer the way. Perhaps the only GPS we truly ever need is a bit of faith. But when that faith is stolen, when you're a child, we wonder what is there left to have faith in. Some have faith in God. Some have faith this and that. But I say, have faith in each other. And people say to me, why I have faith in human beings? Human beings are fallible. That's exactly why. Because we know that we'll fall. But we know that if we don't get back up, we'll be trampled on. So we will find a way to get back up. And even the most evil of human beings finds love every once in a while. It's a moment like these that have made the struggle worth it. Thank you. The words you gave me, a wish, peace, star, cat, tailwind, and it's my wish that this has touched your heart. Thank you.
I liked it. That's very nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was funny. I liked it. Wait, Jerry, you have nothing to say? Sean, you're quiet? What happened?
Sorry, Maurice. I'm just doing some Mother's Day painting right now, or in the meanwhile.
Did you say some Mother's Day painting? Oh, for your mom?
Yes, for
Yes.
a mom. Yeah.
Word. Okay, cool. I want to know where Jerry's at. Jerry has something to say about everybody.
I think that was one of your better pieces, man. Yeah, I like to see that on the page, so I could really digest it a little more,
I'm not even taking you serious, bro, because you know how long it took you to come up with that?
No, the problem was my device, man. I told you I got a new phone a little while ago, man, and it's still, I'm still working it out, But no, I like that piece. I like the piece, and like I said, I like to see that on the page, so I could really kind of digest it a little bit more. But yeah, no, but that's your element, though, man. I remember in different things that you would come up and you take words, have people throw words at you, and you spin it and kick it back out, So yeah, and so I like that one. I think that's one of your better ones. But I did want to say I did have one bit of feedback. I'm always having a hard time hearing with the modulation. Yeah, the voice is the volume is very low.
My volume. My volume.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if you have control over that, but yeah, I have some problems. Like the volume is very low, or the modulation it fluctuates, at least on my device.
Okay, I wish you would have told me that earlier, bro. All right, I'll figure that out. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, just like general, just general feedback.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, so actually, what I should do, I should mention that at the time, when it's at a low.
Word.
So then yeah. So it's all process.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jerry. What about you, John?
Yeah, I enjoyed all of the poems tonight. I enjoyed what you did, Maurice. I like that whole business about the flexibility of the cat, the cat stretching out. That was really good. What can I say? I mean, that is your meteor. I mean, you take a few words from the audience and you put together a really good poem. And yes, it would look good on the printed page. You should have it published, that particular.
So Jonathan, yes. A lot of times when you're reading, that the volume level is lower. Yeah, so I don't know again if that's something that's in your system or if it's something Maurice is able to modulate or what. But yeah, I struggle to hear you sometimes.
Yeah,
No, that's not individual systems.
Yeah, I've always had trouble with the system.
Yeah, you'd have to go into your settings and work with your audio settings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like a compromise. If I put the microphone right up to my mouth, I wouldn't be able to see my face. And Maurice likes it when everybody sees everybody else's faces. So, I had to have the microphone, a foot away from me and still attempt to enunciate. I wish, one of these days, if I get some money together, maybe I'll get an actual microphone that I'll plug into the system and just have the microphone in front of me. Maybe
we need to get your laptop, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what we need to do. But we're gonna work with what we got for now. We'll build up to that. Trust me.
Sure.
All right. Who else got something to read? I know you got poems for days, Jerry. Don't be up there quiet. I want to see if Gianna has something.
Maurice, you're killing me.
Yes.
You want more stuff from?
I know you was there somewhere, Gianna. I knew you was there somewhere.
Oh, next time, Maurice. I was in my PJs tonight.
All right. All right. I'm gonna
Thank
hold
you
you
though
to
for
it.
asking.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Thank you, Maurice.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on, Gianna. It's 9:53, ladies and gentlemen. Whitney, what you doing over there?
Finishing up meal prepping. I have to have it all for tomorrow and Sunday. So
I want us to get a look at what you're making, man, because
here, let me show you what. This is what I'm about to see.
She just don't want us knocking on
Maurice,
Watch.
I do have a piece that may be relevant to the topic.
Hey, she just doesn't want to knocking on the door asking for food.
Oh gosh, dang it. It won't work. Hold on. Let me see.
Word, because what I saw in that little glimpse right there made me hungry already.
I don't know if it'll, so it won't, for some reason it keeps doing that.
Word, I don't know.
I don't know why. I'll take a picture. I'll put it in, send it in the chat.
You don't have the little button there that turns it like reverse, so you just
Let's see. Let me
there.
see.
There
Okay,
you
so yeah, that's
That's
veggie
for tomorrow.
pasta. That's my dinner tonight. Veggie pasta, avocado, and then I've got a salad here, and then this is a banana, peanut butter, and it's made with chocolate almond milk. So it's a smoothie with basil and mint. So yeah, I'm vegan and I'm healthy, so that's how I eat all the time.
Wait, you need to make it. You need to open up a restaurant or something.
Yeah, people told me that.
Word. All right. Wow. Is that what you serving for everybody tomorrow?
That's right. No, this is just how I eat. Because when I go out places, like when I'm protesting or we're out at vigils or anything, if we have to go somewhere or people want to go to eat, I don't typically eat out because I don't eat anything besides fruits and vegetables. So I usually pack my lunch and take it with me.
All right, cool.
Why the
Hey,
process?
just so you guys know, and hopefully I make it, but June 20th is my anniversary. And I have 27 years clean? And that's a Sunday. So I'll be celebrating the 25th of June. And I want to invite everybody out to the virtual bash on June 25th. It'll be the first time that I really celebrated my clean time in all these years. So
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome, and I will definitely be in on that.
word, thank you.
Same here,
Come
man. I'll be there on the 25th too.
Word.
Yeah,
Word.
so actually it's interesting because that's like a week away from my anniversary date.
When's your anniversary?
It's July 1st.
And what's your anniversary for?
Oh, that's my sobriety date.
Oh, word? So you want to celebrate together?
That works.
All right, cool. We can do that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, for me it was 2006. But I do have another little piece I can read, man. And it's like the title, it's not about mother, but the title of it is The Mother Load, but it's not really about mother. Or maybe, I guess, like anything else, you can kind of spin it, and it's about,
You know that's not right, right? That poem called Mother Load having nothing to do with mothers. That's messed up. On Mother's Day weekend, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, but as I think about it, that's not really true. Okay, but anyway, here we go. The mother load, born of source energy. Excuse me, I start over again. Born of source energy, streamed real time. Born of seed, sod, and rain. Incubated, synthesized, as if by magic, into majestic emerald fields of pabulum. Leaves of grass, savored to the nth degree, grazed, masticated, ingested, macerated, regurgitated, ruminated, reinterred, reallocated, digested, lactated, from the nipple. Oh, sorry, I lost my place. From the nipple, from the mother lobe, what has risen to the top, the creme de la creme of creature comfort, the primal pacifier, at the crux of midday cravings and midnight binges. Iced, whipped, sweet, sour, got cream. And that's my piece called The Mother Load. So what do you think of that, Maurice?
I'd have to hear it again. But there was places when you were saying the words, there was some words I didn't know what they meant. So I was like, yo, I gotta sit with this. But I remember feeling that I liked the rhythm of it and the way that you was flowing it. I really liked it. I really liked your flow.
Yeah, maybe this is one of the pieces that I will post to your site.
All right, yeah, I gotta set you up. I gotta set you up.
Yeah, you know.
And matter of fact, I wanted to do a poetry workshop, and I was talking to John about it today, man. You know what I'm saying? A writing group, actually. If you wanted to get in on that, man, that'd be dope. I know we talked about it before anyway.
Yeah, I'm always interested in process. I'm always interested in hearing people's creative process and how people put things together, from the inspiration to the actual, nuts and bolts of how people string words together into a coherent piece. The creative process, is I'm fascinated by that. So yeah, I'm down.
I got this piece called The Sobering Truth. And it's dedicated to all the women who have struggled for equality, who struggled to bring justice in this world, from all the communities to women who truly fought for us all, no matter what part of the world they were from. Thank you. It's called The Sobering Truth. This poem was written from words from my Facebook friends and here at Daily Grind. Megan, Mariah, Kate, Sandy, a fifth grade teacher whose name I do not know at this time. So I took words that they gave me and I wrote this poem for Women's History Month. Painful tragedies, dirt from shallow graves, smothered fetus. Nightmarish behaviors invaded a mother's peaceful night's sleep by lonesome asses whose minds were pregnant with disdain, only content when women seemed too weak to kick back. Many retaliatory punches were met with wrists tied up, blouses ripped, exposing tears of blood from flesh being ripped from her back by whips hurled with aggressive thrusts. While her children grabbed his leg and cried, "Daddy, stop." Like many times, Daddy never listened. Her crying was reading, exercising her right to be efficacious. She did not weep. She stood there unabashed, looked at her daughter and said, "We must not cry." Equality and freedom was not what she was fighting for. That was for educated folks. She was doing something. She was becoming more. She knew it was what she was supposed to do. No titles, no rules. What her soul beckoned her to do, become more. Her daughter's heart was nourished by her mom's courage, persistence, which became her compassion. Her dream would make her more than just a Califian dame. She would be Seguin, her mother proud. Her actions would be that of a pathfinder that would eventually lead to finding roads that would carry women that were raped, beaten, ignored, just laughed at. Awesome this moment would be, then grow to monumental proportions that will embrace all those that seek and willing to impress upon the world, that every soul seeking to be more will be protected by this new egalitarian society. Thank you. Sober and true. That's it. That's all I got.
It was good. I liked it.
Whitney, you got to come with something more than that. Bring it, Whitney.
I mean, I really do. I really do. I feel them. I envision what you guys say. I picture it. I feel a lot of emotions, so that's why I'm pretty quiet because it kind of takes me through steps as I'm listening.
Oh, wow. Thank
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of like, it's good because I'm still trying to process it all.
you. Jerry, I know you got something to say.
And when I listen to what you read, it's kind of like washes over me, man. And I have to reflect on it, man. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some things that will jump out at me, but I'm trying to just wrap my brain around the whole thing, man. And it takes me time to do that. You know, I have to kind of reflect on what I've heard, and I write little notes, and you know what I mean? So yeah, it's more of a time-consuming process for me. That's why I don't get like immediate feedback a lot of times, you know. Yeah, because I'm not sure I'm understanding it totally, and so I need to sit with it for a while, you know.
All right.
And as you're reading, your words reverberate off the walls of my place, and so I'm getting echoes, and you know, it's like a tsunami. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So it's about 10:06. Next Friday, I'm gonna have some new music to play for you guys for some independent artists who sent me some music over the years. I'll be uploading it to Poetic Recovery radio station. One is from Universe's nationally known theater group. And one is from, oh man, what's his name? Ooh. Lord, I'm sorry. I can't remember his name right now. But it was it was a rap song about slavery. It was really deep. So I'm gonna be sure to play that next week. And if you guys know any artists, local artists that are conscious and you know have music that's clean and that would like to go up on a radio station, hit me up, man. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? It'd be my pleasure to upload it.
Okay.
Hey, so are you still hearing more? Are you still taking more poems? Is the floor still open, or?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Do what you gotta do. John, you got something?
Yeah, well, I got something I can read while other people are pulling up their stuff, because I know everybody comes armed, you know, with the words and stuff, you know. So yeah, this is just a little filler, you know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a piece I call New Shoes, you know, and it kind of like goes back to, you know, old school when you got a new pair of shoes and they were like, you know, Buster Brown kind of things, you know. So yeah, new shoes. It's not an Air Jordan or Jimmy Choo or Chuck Taylor thing. Maker's mark notwithstanding, it's all about the shoes. Back in the day, on the other side of town, it was so bourgeois to be wearing new shoes. The man-made materials, the manufacturing, the fact that they're probably too big and otherwise ill-fitting made going to the shoe store on par with a trip to the dentist. At least the dentist gave you something for the pain. The shoe salesman had that cool sizing thing that gave you the illusion that you were being fitted, made you feel special, like every contour of your foot was being factored into a pair of shoes made expressly for you. It was as if there was a shoe that was just for you. And that's what I got, new shoes.
Hey, bro.
Yo.
I'm a size 14, bro. And every time I go into a shoe store, you know what they say? No new shoe for you. So I know you wasn't writing about me.
So you get your stuff custom made then?
You know, sometimes I look out. A lot of times I just gotta accept what's there. But what inspired that poem?
What inspired this poem was a poem that I heard from a poet about 2 years ago, and it was one of the best poems. It hit me. It was like, wow, you know. And the title of that poem was Bootstraps. And so that's actually what was kind of the inspiration for this piece.
Wow. Bootstraps.
Yeah, and at some point I'll read that. Everything that I bring is basically my stuff, you know. So, but yeah, that was one of a couple of pieces that, you know, over the course of hearing different people read, and you know, there's a couple of pieces that just stick with you, that hit you, and it's like, wow, yeah. So that was one of them. Yeah, Bootstraps. That was the inspiration for this piece.
Dope. Dope. Thank you, man. I want to hear that again, bro. So bring that with you next Friday.
The piece on Bootstraps, or this piece that I just did?
The piece you just did.
All right, that could work.
Piece you just did. Be dope.
That could work. But I just wanted to throw this out there, and I don't know how people might have different opinions, but yeah, I'm in a kind of like in a Zen frame of mind, you know. That's how I kind of process the world, and the basic tenet of that is the thing that, you know, you can never step into or swim in the same river twice, that nothing is ever twice the same. So yeah, you hear a piece, you know, and then you hear it again, and it's not the same because it's not done the same. You know, you're different, the piece is different, you know, the time is different. So yeah. So I will bring this. I think that's the beauty of poetry. That's what I like about poetry, is that you can hear something multiple times and it could be a different piece. It could hit you differently each time, you know. But I will bring this piece back. Hey, listen, it's been real, and as always, it's time well spent. You know, I think we all.
You can't leave right now, man, because I was looking at a piece that I want to read and I want you to hear it. I want to get your reaction. Can you do that?
I can do that, man. If it's not a very, very long piece, if it's not like a 15 or 20-minute piece, I can do that, man. You know,
it's about 5 pages long, but I think I could do it within like 3 minutes.
All right, so 5 pages, that's like flash fiction, so I'm good with that.
It's a good 7-8 minute piece.
Maurice.
Yes.
Before you share, I gotta go get my I gotta go get Cecilia tucked away.
Okay.
But love you and appreciate you and everybody else. Thank you for sharing and just being inspiring and awesome. Maurice, I'll check in with you about your new house.
Thank you. And please let her know that she is an amazing poet.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. So, Jerry, Whitney, John, this is called.
So you got a new house.
Not. I'm working on it, but I'm selling my old one.
So you're working the system then.
Yeah, man. You know.
What we need, man, we need more. We need more brothers. We need more people of color who are like, plugging into the real estate thing, man. Because that's the core. That's the basis of wealth.
I'll be honest with you.
Property.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I wouldn't have that place without a friend of mine, and it's interesting. And no lie, a friend of mine put up $70,000 for that house and allowed me to pay it off over time.
Well, you know what that's called, man?
So I wouldn't be homeless.
You know what that's called, bro?
What?
That's called humanity. That's called compassion. That's called paying it forward, And so that you impressed on someone who has the means to do that for you means that implies that there's whole layers and levels of trust and respect. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's absolutely a reflection on the person who did that for you, as well as a reflection on you. You know what I'm saying? And that is the core of wealth. You know what I'm saying? Wealth is not about money per se. It's about this fabric. It's about this tapestry that we weave among ourselves. You know what I mean? That allows one to help another. You know what I'm saying? And so that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Totally awesome.
Yes, sir. What I did in return was, because I could have, so I rented out some rooms, and I could have charged like $575, $600 for definitely one of the rooms, but because it was a big room. But what I did was I charged at cost rent for people who were going to school and in transition, like getting their lives together. But yeah, man, I mean, definitely I got into a couple situations, doing that. But overall, I have no regrets. And so many people were able to get on with their lives and do some amazing things with their lives, so yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, and the situations that you got into as a result of doing what you did, those people, they'll grow. There'll come a point where they'll look back and see that, oh wow, yeah, what was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? So we're all at different stages of growth and development and personal, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, there's always going to be a couple of folks that are thinking. You know how us black folks in our neighborhoods, the whole thing about game, and running game and getting over, I mean, we still have that. We're still saddled with that kind of mindset, So it causes some of us sometimes to be short-sighted in what we do or how we look at things, and thinking that we're good, that we're getting over, or but we evolve, and we come to be more mature, and. But yeah, I think it's awesome, man. It's the house that you got that arrangement and that you paid it forward, and that yeah, it's cool.
Oh yeah, man, it is. It's amazing, bro. It definitely is, man. It's amazing, and I've been able to go to school this past year, get a certs, working on others. So I'm very grateful, man. I'm absolutely grateful, and um, that's why I do diverse things, because I know that there's beautiful people in every group, and I need to let that shine. You know what I'm saying? We can discuss the issues, but let's get to the solution. The solution is to address the fact that there's beautiful people in every place. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to take those beautiful people coming together to break down the damage that the negativity and these systematic tragedies impress upon people. So
So was it Marvin Gaye or was it MLK that said that only love can conquer hate? Or it may have been someone going back even further than that. But
I know
I know that was one of the words. Huh?
I said I know I've said it.
Yeah, and that's true, man. It's like yeah. But anyway, man, so I do need to roll off, man. I need to step off, or however people say that these days, man.
It was your fault I didn't get to read this poem, bro.
What's the hip way of saying I gotta leave, man?
It's your fault I didn't get to read this poem for you, bro, because you just kept talking and talking and talking, and didn't even leave me no time.
So are you gonna read it or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it right now. It's called "I'm a Wounded Man."
All right.
And I wrote this at a time where I was kind of frustrated at brothers. So I think it's the perfect time to read it. I'm a wounded man. I might not get famous, but I won't be nameless. Cause I fuse phases, sort of mazes, a crowd, a block, a town. I get down with a beatbox, an iPod sound. This is my free, letting go energy, pent up stress, the world's perplexed. The country's vexed, politicians playing chess, the president attacked while our healthcare is whack. Supreme Court open the gates. Corporations can't wait to flex dollars we spent while we vent. We could have been wiser, raised each other higher, but we hate each other. We made each other suffer, point fingers at each other. No one bothers because we don't got fathers, so the police just robs us of more black men, women, people with mental illness, their prisons, twiddling our thumbs, bitching about the Corey checks, want more respect. We must get up, get united, stand and fight it like you do in-laws, knowing all their flaws. We're wounded folks. I tag your mind, connect the rhymes line by line. You know you like my kind, straight up and raw, out of my jaw like a chatterbox, but my chatter rocks like minded folks searching for hope on the internet. So we connect with poverty rising like the sun on the horizon, stress is at its all-time high. Being the numbers are in, dogging politicians, we're like leaves in a small tornado wind, like a mindless vagabond searching for a miracle and a magic wand. But I'm Googleable like poetry. I want to be Oogable. I can't hide. I'm outspoken in this great divide. I'm everywhere. Yahoo, Bing, type my name. I'm there. Take away the pain. Take away the chain wrapped about my soul. The key is in my hand, but I don't know if I'm worth it sometimes. Sometimes my crimes is feeling worthless like a tree with many branches but earthless, just floating in space with no roots, stepping in shit, no boots, second guessing myself. And oops, I forget about freedom because the cops got me bound to being stuck like a two-wheel drive truck in light snow on a sunny day, spinning wheels trying to get away, begging for help, but I'm told I'm wrong. I can't get out, just gotta be, I can get out, just gotta be strong. My problems goes nationwide because Corey got more white folks on its side speaking, it ain't right, but won't change it. They got a pen but won't aim it to the dotted line to amend it. Even black folks defend it, but getting mad at gangs. Propaganda got fangs stuck deep in the rocks of existence, but there's no love story in this. I'm a wounded man. I'm not dead, but I'm dying. Congress lying about every man is equal. Jason Vessel lived a sequel. Needing to defend his life, stabbed a white dude with a pocket knife. The white dudes beat him, broke his bones, 2-on-1. Jason was alone. In his mind, Jason was gonna die there. He defended himself out of fear, but because he's black, all strides from civil rights are being taken back, such as every man deserves the right to defend himself, but white supremacists practice on black targets and growing throughout America. Black men are jailed for surviving hysteria, but I got news for you. We got news for you. All of us got news for you. Together, we got news for you. We're going to stand members of the human family. Nor Palestine, nor Haiti, nor Jason will fall to this travesty. Racism, this economic terrorist divide. Every day, people's eyes wide open. They know something's wrong, but sometimes we're just too broken and give up. But Jason in blackness stood up, wounded, and the call for his life and struck back. That's why he's in jail, to send a message to black men nationwide, to people with mental illness, to people impoverished nationwide. If you decide to live, if you decide to defend yourself against white supremacists, the system is in the back to box us in, but I'd rather fight than give in. I'm not a coward. These modern Bill Connors of UMass, these modern Bill Connors, I'm just wounded, but together we'll fight on until justice and freedom is won. I'm a wounded man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, John. Hey, John, you got something you want to read, bro?
Loved it. Same. I just had that one was a lot of emotion. A lot of emotion.
Thanks, Whitney.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
John.
that was pretty intense piece there, man. And I got a couple points on it, man. I just wanted to run by you on that, just some feedback. So, yeah, there was this imagery. We went to like a two-wheel drive. You're stuck like a two-wheel drive truck, you know. And yeah, and I get that imagery of that wheel spinning, you know, and the truck ain't going nowhere. But you had a couple of points, man. You mentioned one. You said this, like the sun on the horizon, right? And when you read that, and I wrote it down, it made me think. Actually, it raised a question in my mind about a horizon. You know, like what is the horizon? Is the horizon where the sky and the land meet way out in the distance, or is the horizon where the sun comes up? So my point is, when you mention like the sun on the horizon, and I'm thinking, well, the sun defines the horizon, you know, and you also had a line, you said there's no love story in this. And I bring this back to the sun defining the horizon. Yeah, and that's where the love is, because that sun comes up every day, you know, and so yeah, and so every day, yeah, there's a new story. But anyway, I like that piece. It brings out broader issues, which I'll go into at some point with you, about whether it's about racism or it's about the ruling class. And I'm going to leave it at that.
It's about all that, but it's also about us coming together. You know, people from all different communities coming together. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that the group that is going to end all of this madness is going to be the group of people that leave the boxes that were created for us to be in and come together under one umbrella.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope so. But I'm kind of thinking, of like
can't
third
just,
world countries, right? Where the, like in Burma or Myanmar, I guess is the name of it these days. Yeah, I was reading this thing the other day where it's saying, yeah, their jails are full of poets and politicians, you know, and so yeah, the oppression comes layered, you know, and so it's a struggle that happens on a lot of levels. But anyway, I like that piece that you read, man, and the takeaway from it is you mentioned chess in it. I think that was like one of the first lines or two that you mentioned chess. And so I have a piece about chess, man. I'm not going to read it now, but it's a piece that we'll get into at some point.
all right. Thanks, man. I appreciate your feedback.
Yeah, as always, there's more, you know, if time permitted, you know. You and I could go on and on and on.
You're going to be here next Friday?
Pardon?
You're going to be here next Friday?
As far as I know, I don't have any conflicting plans at this point, but you know.
Bring some people with you.
The future is not guaranteed. Yeah, so I'm always plugging this show, man, you know. I'm always plugging the show, you know. So, but I'm not, people ask me, I say, well, what is this? Is it a poetry thing? Is it a writing group? What is it, you know? People want a box so they can put it in, you know, and I say, well, I don't know. So I'm not able to come up with, oh, well, it's this or it's that, you know. So, yeah, I don't know if you could, how you would characterize what it is for those who need to have it, you know, and put into like a little category thing.
You tell them this. Tell them this. This is a place for those who want to free themselves through cultural exchange, can come and connect. They write, if they sing, if they're visual artists. This is the place to be. We are building writers' workshops. So you, I, and John will figure that out. So I'm thinking on Sundays, but you know what I'm saying, we'll see where everybody's with that. You know what I mean? So, but it's all that, you know what I mean? Friday night we share poetry, and I interview artists, activists, and change agents. And what that does is inspire artists to think about things that's going on in the world and write. You know what I mean? So we can let other people know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We are the original news, right? And the fact that our culture has been exploited and appropriated, there's things that are not being shared and talked about that should be. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, and there are artists that are talking about it. So we are another outlet for people to be heard, and, you know, we encourage healing, you know, so. There you go. With that, it's 10:34, and we're going to call it the night. I want to thank you all for being here. Whitney, John,
Thank you.
Jerry, thank you all very much for coming through. I hope you have a successful protest, Whitney.
This is more of a business. It's more building the community tomorrow. So I love it.
All right, cool. And thank you for the work that you're doing out there. And with that being
Thank
said,
you.
hope you have a great Mother's Day. I hope all the women in your lives that are mothers have a great Mother's Day weekend. And I will hopefully see you all next Friday. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
I want to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Poetic Recovery Cultural Exchange. Open mic. Had some great poetry exchange. If you like what you hear and you want to be a part of, come on down. Go to poeticrecovery.net, click on the sign up, and join our listserv so you can get the login information so you can join us Friday nights at 7:45. Tonight we had Sherry Honkala on tonight, mother, longtime activist. We interviewed her, so go and check out the YouTube session, poeticrecovery.net, and click on open mic. It'll take you to our YouTube channel, and you can see a list of all of our shows there. And I hope you like what you see. Share them with your friends. Click subscribe. Let's get it. Hope you guys have a good night. Have a good weekend. And if you're a mother, happy Mother's Day weekend. Peace.